Okay, so here we go. We're going to start off with our little shuttle here. You can see the Enterprise in the background. Shuttle serves a few uses. Mainly in the core of it is a single transporter pad sideways. That comes in handy later. What else have we got here? A couple of nacelles that can boost it really quickly. A connector on the bottom which connects to the shuttle bay. I guess I'll cruise up a little here. Gives you an idea of the general shape. Obviously the nacelles are custom for Star Trek. First Officer's Star Trek mod has a bunch of these things. So obviously I couldn't cobble that in perfection together. Saucer has a couple ugly spots. The armor panels that cover up the phasers. We've got a view inside the bridge there. Kind of disguised in the hull are a lot of angled thrusters. Sometimes not so disguised when the sun isn't on it. It just kind of looks like windows, so I think that works. Got a couple photon torpedo launchers in the bottom. Also disrupts the aesthetic, but you gotta have them. Coming up here, the deflector dish is actually a beam mining laser. That comes in handy. Come up to an asteroid and just start chopping it up. Means you don't need a separate mining vessel. Nacelles glowing nicely. Worked a lot on the perspective. It's obviously not one-to-one. It's like a micro version. It's still got a sizable interior, but at least the perspective seems to be proper. The nacelles, I had a long time trying to figure out how long to make those, so I'll just swing around, show you a little more perspective, and then we'll head inside. Coming down the side. We have a button panel here. So there's a bunch of shutters. You'll see what these do shortly. The rear of the ship is kind of important. Those are thrusters to the side. Show stool thrusters. Use those a lot. So control panel allows us to open the... where are they? Shuttle bay doors somewhere. Now we're talking. And open. And we're popping over here. And now you can see the shuttle bay. I won't do the slow process of docking, but you can see our shuttle would fit just inside, pointing outward. So then you just detach and go. Check this button. Hit that to open the rear torpedo bays. Ship is for exploration and running from big engagements. That's for when you're running. Those are rapid-fire photon torpedoes. So coming in, we got these three shutters, top and to the sides. You'll see a lot of use of shutters. I like those. I like the look. And two space suits and also an access panel to reload the photon torpedoes because it was too tough to connect them to the overall network. So yeah, you can suit up in those locations. And now we are in the belly of the ship. Before heading to the saucer, you can see the main impulse engine. In effect, that's what it is. RP-wise, just think of that as sort of part of the powering system of the ship. But I like the way you can look up there. You see the first ship side transporter pad. We don't need that quite yet because we're going to pop over to engineering. It's got 2 levels. We've got a big warp core in the middle. That's another cool mod. It's included in the Star Trek mod from First Officer. And yeah, you can access the different systems from there. Added a bit of yellow effect. The ship requires a lot of gyros, so I had to really stuff them in where I could, so you'll see them in a few locations. In the end, it makes it really agile. We got an elevator coming down, jumping up and down to keep you occupied while we wait. There's some gyros. They're on the booster modules. And there we go. Notice a lot of different sounds here. It's too much to comment on, but it's done mostly through sound blocks and triggering through sensors. I've got a separate sound block coming that will have all of these. So we're heading up. And here we are. So I guess this is like the engineering overlook. You can see the top of the warp core there. Looking down, don't want to fall. Here's the front of... I'm at a loss of words for Star Trek jargon, but the thing that powers stuff. Got a replicator there. If you can put the right items into it, you can get a few things. Got a little catwalk there for safety. We're just going to fly down because we don't want to wait for the elevator. And we are heading back. We're going to take the transporter pad and pop on over to the main transporter pad. So here's a big thing. We can't fit through the neck. Actually, you can through the maintenance tunnels, which are conveyors you can tunnel through. They're basically Jeffries tubes, but for easy transportation, you basically have to beam to the saucer, which is what we've just done. Here's the main transporter room. Got a little blue glow going. A couple more space suits for direct exploration. I do need to set up those buttons to trigger different transportations for people who are on the pad. We're in the hallway. Close some doors. Got a bit of a bug with this door where the first time you spawn the ship, it has these things at the top like you see there. The doors are basically like 90 degrees. You have to open them to make them go right. We are in the prison cells. Got 2 cells there behind a force field. I think it's cruel that in cell B the toilet is just in the middle of the room, but I need a drill to fix that. They can handle it. Got some buttons there that can lower force fields if you program them. Oh, I'm missing the pool table from here because I destroyed something below it and it fell out. Let me just give you the full effect. And this is the crew lounge. Got the couches, pool table, little bar there, couple table chairs. Probably put some images on that screen, maybe some animated LCDs. Mess hall, clearly. Try to decide between bench style seats and these, but it's a small crew and this is more informal. I was really obviously trying to get the J.J. Abrams lens flare because this is pretty much the ship from those movies. Got a couple LCDs, should have slapped some medical images on there. I've got the medical room there, 3 cryos, a bathroom because I like it to be realistic. Each floor has 1. There we go. So we've done a loop around the lower deck. If we go down there, it's the transporter room again. So we're going to take the other of the 2 elevators and go upstairs and check out the inner or upper ring and the bridge. Okay, there's the science room. Got another plant. So yeah, it's basically a lab. Got a hollow there of the image of the Earth, and a few stations here, a table to examine artifacts, science, what have you. We're moving on. Now we are heading down the hall. This is the ready room, the conference room. That's a really cool mod. I think it's the Death Star conference table, and also the planetarium mod allows us to project those asteroid fields on the table. Checking out the bridge, got a little flashing light going. Turn that off. It's a red alert thing. Got the sounds going on in the background. Got these consoles which look very original series, but weren't intended that way apparently. Yeah, so the LCD would obviously show ship systems. Captain sits there. It's really agile. Had to really rip a few things out to make the gyros work, and I worked hard to make it as realistic as possible. The only thing, there's only a couple of cheats. I found like a small refinery because I couldn't fit the refinery properly, and it does produce a lot less. And I'll tell you anything else that I think is immersion breaking if I think of it. Got another bathroom here because it connects to the hydroponics. Nice comfy blue glow, or green glow there I should say. And now we are stepping back out, and actually this whole thing on our right lifts up to show the crew bunk basically. Obviously it's a small crew. We have 4 there. Maybe there'd be a couple of people on duty and switch it in shifts. Got another kind of lounge style there. Got the little lights in the back. They don't actually project light, so it's a little bit, dark in there, but I suppose you're sleeping. And I just got glitched out when I stepped out of the bed, so maybe be careful when you do that. But I'm back where I left, so we're gonna close that up and head back. I passed a passage back there on the left that just basically enters into the Jeffries tube network of the system, where you could technically use your jetpack to crawl down through into the star drive. This is life support. Basically oxygen generation, all that, piping through the ship. What else? I think we're about there. Yeah, I glitched over here before, but this is the top level transporter pad. And I guess the only thing remaining after this view is just show you the weapon systems. It's a little silly. You can fire them all at once or not, but I'll show you the phasers here, because you basically... I'm having some trouble. Maybe I'm missing how to do it, but I can't seem to isolate a phaser without turning the other blocks off. But let's see here. Actually, yeah. I'm just going to show you the speed on this thing. So normal thrusters don't go fast. This one just accelerates immediately. It's got a lot of power from that warp core, which is very hungry. Yeah, essentially the ship can accelerate incredibly quickly using that interior impulse engine. I suppose that's another cheat. It doesn't do thruster damage, otherwise the back half of the ship would blow off. But yeah, you can get moving in a hurry. I've got a max speed with some phasers. Max speed of 400, and it hits that in 1 second. So yeah, overpowered engine as well, but it also has a ton of energy demand, but I meet that with the warp core, so say what you will. It's a ton of fun to play. So, firing phasers in the 3 directions we have them. We've got torpedoes, firing from the dish. If you move extremely quickly downward as you fire, there's probably a chance you'll hit your own saucer, but try not to do that. What else have we got here? I'll show you the rear rapid fire photon torpedoes. This is when you're escaping and want to fire backwards to repel the attacker. There. Cool. So this is an exploration ship. It's got sensors, it jumps. The one thing those nacelles do, every section of them counts as a jump drive, so you've got a ton of jump power. You're just piping to go. We got weaponry, but no turrets. They just kind of ruin the look. I couldn't get it to look right. And so that's a big handicap the ship has. It's all light armor and paper thin. It has two large ship shield generators with almost maxed out mods. So you can crash into a planet and not be completely destroyed as long as you hit it at an angle. I think that makes it fairly accurate. But yeah, the shields are its armor. If they go down, you're in trouble. That warp core generates a lot of power, so it should be okay. But under sustained bombardment, get the warp engines going. We're just looking through the beam drill on the front where the deflector dish would go. It all connects to the network. The other thing this doesn't have actually as a handicap is a lot of storage. So the cargo is limited. In fact, there's just a scattering of small crates, so you might want to modify it yourself. This thing took a lot of very precision spacing, and I lost out on that one. Now the shuttle we're taking a look at here, it has a special function, and basically it is a transporter spike. Because it has a transporter in its belly, or in its back I suppose you'd say, you can launch it and fly at the planet, reduce speed appropriately so the nose sticks into the ground enough that the base of the transporter is flush with the ground. And now you've got an upright transporter. You step in, beam back up to the ship. Now you've got a place to explore from or return to. Again, overpowered, because as it is, these transporters, they take a lot of power the farther you go, if I understand it correctly, but they can send you anywhere, so it's up to the enemy to destroy those things. But there are transport inhibitors with this mod. You would assume that if you're playing against players, they have the same mod. Anyways, thank you.